This moment got a lot of attention across the country recently and is a good reminder of what not to do. A parent walked right onto the ice at a Saskatoon minor hockey game and addressed the referee in the middle of the game. It's reignited a conversation about the treatment of officials in sport, especially young ones. Joining me now to discuss this further is no stranger to our program. Ed McHugh is usually on our air discussing business, but he's also been a referee for over 50 years. He's also the former president of Basketball Nova Scotia and of Halifax Minor Basketball. We thank you so much for joining us. You also coached for 20 years.
Yes.
Yeah, so you know the sport well. You know the world of sports well.
Yeah, I also umpired some softball for a while, and so I've been around sport all of my life.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So when you see that video, what goes through your head?
What was he thinking?
Yeah.
I'm appalled. There's rules in society about how we do things, and those rules do apply to sport. Mm-hmm. And for him to do that is absolutely, you know, there's got to be a ban, and the ban should be severe.
What are the common things that happen at minor games when we talk about bad behavior?
Verbal abuse is the #1 leader. Mm-hmm. I referee basketball, as I said, and it's a little interesting. In hockey, you're behind a plexiglass, so a lot of it's not heard by the officials. But in basketball, the fan is right there. Mm-hmm. So it's verbal abuse. It's threats. It's insults to your integrity and to your intelligence. And sometimes the hardest part is sometimes fans don't understand game management, and there's times that certain calls are made in all sports by umpires or referees or whatever, and it's about game management and in that gray area, and if you're not really familiar with the game, you don't quite understand sometimes what's happening out here. And when you've got a room or a gym or a rink or a field going sideways, that's when you and your partner get together and you work as a team and you tighten it up. You just clamp it down. Yeah. You have to. Because
absolutely.
You're in charge of that game, and you're the manager, and it's your job to make sure that it remains civil.
And you hope that the audience, that the crowd is on your side, but unfortunately they're not always on your side.
No, they're not. You know, and generally it runs, you know, it's almost a pattern. The team that's losing, okay, is the team that is angriest and most abusive. And it's, but what people feel and understand is these are 10 and 12 and 14-year-olds. You know, these aren't professionals. These aren't, you know, teams playing in the NHL or the NBA or wherever. You know, these are kids. This is children. You know, these are kids in grade 6 that people are putting pressure on and yelling at the officials to, I don't know, try and fix something out there, when sometimes in sport, as an official, you can't fix it.
In hockey, we've got the young kids, the under-16s wearing green armbands. I don't think that's the practice in basketball. Do you think that would help? Do you think it's helping in hockey?
I'm 50-50 on that. I think it sets up a young person. Sometimes it's an older person, but most times it's a younger person. It sets them up as almost a bit of a target. In the world of basketball in Nova Scotia, we currently now lose about 80% of new officials after the second year. And most of it's about verbal abuse. My own daughter refereed with me, and I made sure I did games with her, but Kate did it for about a year, and then one coach one day said something, and Kate just says, "I can't do this, Dad." And she stopped.
This is a growing problem.
Yes.
So why is it growing?
I'm developing a theory. I don't have a full theory on this, but I think what's happening with society is that social media has taken a lot of the filters away from people, and people feel like now they can say almost anything to anybody. And I think some civility has left society, and we got to find a way to bring it back. You know, you can't treat people the way that it's happening in the rinks and the fields and the gyms. You know, you got to treat them pretty much the same way you treat them as if you met them on the sidewalk. You were in a business meeting with them. I know that's a big stretch, and I know people get excited, and that's fine. You know, sport's a very exciting thing. Just watch the Olympics right now, and people are really excited. They are, and I get it, and that's the joy of it. So, you know, I don't know how many times in my 53 years of refereeing I've had to say, "Coach, just coach the game. Just focus on your players, okay? We'll take care of the management of calls. Don't worry." You know, no one here got up this morning hoping that Team 1 would beat Team 2. You know, there's nobody doing that. And so you know, many times you're saying, "Coach, get it under control," and that's the hard part.
We're running out of time. You mentioned a ban earlier. Ban what?
Ban the fan. Ban. You know, we've had fans in minor basketball banned for life. You just can't come back into a gym ever again. So
what's your advice then, as we you know, finish up our interview here, to any parents that are really engaged, but tend to maybe, you know, fly off the handle a little bit. What's your advice to them or to somebody who might have a hard time controlling their emotions?
Yeah, just focus on your team. Cheer for your team. Cheer loudly. Cheer, cheer, cheer. Makes you just excited, and but just focus on your team. Don't try and referee it also. You know, sports are hard to referee and umpire. They are. And so give the referee, he or she, some slack. We're all human beings. Mistakes are going to be made. Things are going to be, it's all about angles many times, so you might not, the referee might not have had the right angle and probably missed something. But don't worry, he or she will catch up to it. It'll even out. But cheer for your kids. Cheer for your team.
Always awesome insight. Thank you, Ed. Nice to see you in person.
My pleasure.
Ed McHugh has been a dedicated basketball referee for over 50 years. 53, I think, is the number, right? Yeah. Wow. And we are so glad that he could join us this evening right here on CTV News at 5.